Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Illiterati is a board game that I bought on Kickstarter mainly for my wife and maybe the whole homeschooling that we do. It wasn't something that I had a whole lot of fandom for or something I was really looking forward to, other than the fact I would surprise her with this and perhaps it would be a good learning tool in school. What I found attached instead was one of my top 3 word games. Like Word on the Street is very good. I like this game quite a bit. So it's one of my favorite word games. And I think the reason for that is that it's cooperative. So we're building words together. I don't have to be the greatest wordsmith to win or do well because my compadres or my friends or my amigos are helping me during this game to build words. And even though I might build a bunch of words, it might be more beneficial for somebody else to use the letters so those letters can kind of go around. All that is great. I really like that aspect of the game, and right there is enough to be a winner for me. But instead of just being a word building game, they decided to attach an actual board game to this, which is fantastic. If you look at something like Scrabble, so you're building words and you happen to be scoring points for that. Instead here, there are kind of like certain types of words that you're trying to build, and I think that adds in. So you don't want to just build words, I want to build words that are titles of states or cities or something like that. So it gives me a direction in what I'm scoring. Now, sometimes I just need to score words because I don't want to lose these letters or be penalized for them. But if I can get them to match the topic at hand, I'm going to do better in the game. That's really, really, really fun. And you're on a timer. So the real time factor is going to deter some people, but it works in this game because you don't have all the time in the world to just build words. You're frantically trying to build things as quickly as possible and get your mind to work. This game works really well for me. If you want to use it for homeschooling, you can even take the timer out and just play the game, let the chips fall where they may. Maybe you'll have a little bit better success rate in winning more, but you're playing with children, so it might even itself out. At some point, I think you need to have a timer and be like, okay, we're done. We're done spelling words. Let's move on. And that's going to have to happen. I think the timer does that. But how long the timer is really can be up to you. It's set in a rule book, but I think it can be set up to what you guys want it to be for who you're playing with and what you're trying to accomplish with this game. This game has been a huge win for me. I actually kickstarted it with a $1 pledge, and I went in, and I canceled it, and I went in. So glad I got this game. This has been one of my favorite word games. It'll probably be Word on the Street or this, probably my 2 favorite. Paperback is really good too. Those are my top 3, but this one is right up there with them. It's cooperative, so I like that a little bit more, and it's a winner for us. Absolute keeper. If you like word games at all, check this one out. Excellent. Here is Illiterati, which is a deluxe edition. This one came off of Kickstarter. You can see here. This is going to be a really nice slipcover. So it opens up like a book, I guess. So this is like a slipcover, but it's not one of those cheap ones that are going to bother you all the time. Inside, you're going to get a rule book, which I'll talk about in a moment. Now, this has some really good components. You're going to have a sand timer. Ours, well, it feels and works great. I think it's longer than 3 minutes. So you're going to open this up. You're going to have your burn tracker, which the tiles will fit right in. You're going to have these nice tarot-sized cards. They have a nice finish on them. They tell you what they need. 12 things that live underwater, the symbols. Everything is big. Got the name of the book, some flavor text at the bottom. These cards are great. And then when you jump into the villains, you're going to see some pretty good artwork on these. That takes up a lot of the page. You're going to have the things at the bottom that will be the negative effects that they'll have, etc. There's the villains. And then your player aids are great. They have library cards in round order, and these are great to hang out. The letter count, distribution, everything. Lots of care. Difficulty levels for setup. Lots of care and respect went into this game. You're also going to get 2 bags, which is fantastic. You have the black one and the red one. What's so great about these, you're going to have these tiles. And I should point out these tiles are really, really good. They'll have some symbols on them and the letter. You have the black ones, the color-coded. These are the wild ones. And they all do something a little bit different, etc. But when you're done, you discard them into this bag. So when this bag is empty, this bag should be relatively full, and then you start using this bag again. What a great concept that they have here. All these components are wonderful. We also had this guy in here. I don't know why. It looks like he should have a stand with him, but he doesn't. Some bookmarks, which have no game purpose, or just for collectors. And then we had an additional card in here. And I'm not 100% sure what this goes to. Maybe a game called Chefs. That might be what it's for. So the components are great. The insert works fantastic. Excellent addition here to the gaming library. Here's a rulebook. You see a picture of the cover of the box. Now, when you open up, give the component list over here, the difficulty, object of the game, and then set up with a great picture that you're going to have. Overview of the game. So this is all of the rules right here, and then you're going to dump into it a little bit deeper as you go through. Plenty of pictures and arrows and examples as it kind of walks you through everything that you'll be doing. Valid words. That's always a tricky thing with a word game, right? The final chapter, letters and symbols, kind of what they do, and the powers of the bad guys that will be coming out. There's a solo mode, junior mode for a little bit younger kids. If you want a PvP mode, which I don't recommend, it is right there. Rulebook is very good. Probably about 15 minutes to get through it. You'll be up and running with no time at all. I'm going to do a quick overview of this game. So what you're going to have is red books and blue books. Everybody's going to start with a red book. When you flip yours over, it's going to tell you here, 8+, you need words that have at least 8 words in them. It can be 2 words, 3 words, whatever. They need to have these symbols on them and the things that live underwater. If you're able to do that a turn, you would flip this over and you would draw the blue one. When you have the blue one, it'll be a little bit harder. This says 10+ letters. No symbols required, equal number of vowels and consonants. When you get this over and everybody is done, then you will flip over another red one, which will have a final chapter on it. They all do. So now you're ignoring this side. You're just doing this one. And everybody has to do the final chapter. 12+ words, use 5 of the same symbol. The words have to be pertaining to emotions and feelings. Everybody has to complete it on the same turn. The first 2 that you do not. I can finish mine and you can't finish yours. But when we do the final chapter, everybody has to complete it on the same turn, and then you win the game. To lose the game, you're going to be using this burn tracker. Whenever you have to put a tile on the burn tracker, which I'll show you in a few minutes, that's fine. But if you get a certain number, depending on your difficulty level, when this is full, you will lose the game. And this will be when you have too many tiles in your library, a tile will come out here. I'll show you how that works in the flow of the game, but this is how you would lose. Set the game is very simple. There's going to be 3 of the tiles that are set aside that will be communal letters, and these will be in the middle, and there's 3. Anybody can use these, and everybody will have 5 tiles that will be dealt to them. You will also gain a red card, a red book that you'll be trying to accomplish. Once you've done this, you're set up and you're ready to go. The first thing you do on a turn is you're going to draw tiles from the bag. Everybody's going to get 7 additional tiles, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you add them to whatever number you already have. When you start the game out, you have 5. You'll draw 7, so you'll start out with 7 of these letter tiles to get you going. When ready, you're going to flip over the sand timer, and you will have 3 minutes to create as many words as you want. And you can do that, let's say D-A-M-E. I'm just kind of going fast on camera. This is not going to go well. Now, words do have to have at least 3 letters in them, so I couldn't use go, but I could definitely use goo. I don't know if that's the best use of these words, but I want to give you some examples. Now, I can also use letters from somebody next to me. I could just use one of those letters and try to make something in here for them. So maybe I would go, is he a word? He? I don't know. I could also take a word from up here, maybe use hen. I could take it from the library or from other players. And once again, they could also use letters that I have. So we're communally using these to build words. Now, if I want to accomplish this, I would need to have words with 8 letters. I want to have these orange symbols on them and things that live underwater. So dame, goo, hen, none of those would be underwater, right? But maybe I could do something like this. Let's say I wanted to build the word fish. I could take this. This one's a blank one. Has all the symbols on, one of the most powerful ones. I could say F and take an I, take an S from a neighbor, and put an H up there. That would be fish. That would be one of the 4 letters. It has one of these symbols on it. It lives underwater. So when the 3 minutes are up, you confirm these are all words. So if I put I-E-N, well, that's not a word. That would go back up to the library, etc. So these are words. Only one of them is something that lives underwater. So this would meet the criteria, but doesn't have 8 letters or 8+. Dame and goose. So I would live for another day. So even if you can't make words on this, you want to keep these because you can use these letters for the next turn. Now, at the beginning of the game, you would choose whether you play normal, hard, or legendary. Let's say we're playing normal. Our library limit is 3, and we can have up to 3 burned letters. So let's take a look and see what that is. So and now here's our library. We had to push everything up we didn't use. We have more than 3 there on normal. So that means what we're going to do is we're going to turn over all of the ones in here. We're going to mix them up, and we're going to choose one at random that will be burnt. and that would go in the burnt tracker. And I'm 1/3 of the way to losing the game. These would be turned back over, and I could save any of the letters I want, but I can only save 3. So let's say I want to keep one E, one W, and I. So I would get rid of these, and these would be thrown back into the discard bag and set aside. This one's permanently out of the game. Discard ones go back in the bag, and this is our new library, and I get to keep these right here. So theoretically, next turn, I would draw 7 tiles, and I would have even more letters to play off of. Then I'm going to take the villain cards, which have been shuffled up. I'm going to flip over the top one. And they will each say something on them. It says each player must discard their shortest word, or whoever has the longest word must discard it. That would be a choice that would be made. So you do one of these cards per turn. Now, subsequent turn, another one may come out. If it's the same person, it goes on top of it, and then you would do this one and then that one. On a subsequent turn, if you turn another one over and it's not that person, you set it aside and you only do this card negative. So they can get more powerful the longer the game goes on. If you're adding 3, 4 of these type cards, you're getting rid of a lot of tiles. And that's a quick overview of how you play Illiterati. Who should buy this game? Homeschoolers, anybody who want to educate their kids, anybody who likes cooperative games, and you like word games. This is a must-have for me if you like word games. I like it that much. This, Word on the Street, and Paperback, my 3 favorite. This one might be number 1 because of the cooperative nature of that. I think it works well for the building of the words and what you're trying to accomplish. Big winner for us. Keeper for sure.